Hi guys and welcome to Bomb Anime. It's your girl
Ruka.
and Big Boy Summer here, bringing you a hot or not.
Welcome to this episode of Hot or Not, where we judge anime based on only its first episode. Today, Heaven's design team is in the hot seat and we're going to judge the hell out of it. We'll then be back for part 2 to see if our hot or not verdict holds up.
We'll be looking at the creativity, entertainment, character development, world building and execution to see if this anime is hot or not. You know what it is, let's get right into it.
Creativity. Basically, this anime is about a design team. It's put together because God could not be bothered to design any more animals, and so he just outsourced it. One thing in this section that I didn't really like was the fact that Chief Shichiya was making a Pegasus and the angel knew exactly what it was. He was like, oh, a Pegasus, so he didn't really design it, so I don't really know why that was in there. It was a bit weird because with all the other animals that they introduced, none of the other angels knew what it was, so it's not like they have some kind of telepathy or something like that where they just all knew the name. It had to be explained to them. So I don't know, maybe I'm just picking, but come on guys. And I thought that it was quite funny at the beginning that they're the creation department, but they weren't able to be very creative. So I actually thought that was quite funny. It was a little bit of a play on their job title, but they did get it together.
I thought that for creativity, the concept alone was quite weird and out there. It was, for me, like the only thing that was sort of creative. Everything else seemed like I've heard it before, I've seen it before.
Entertainment. I actually liked that the engineer, Higuchi, actually gave real reasons for why things couldn't happen. I felt like they tried to keep the entertainment factor going by the way that the characters interacted with each other. So each of the characters have their own personal preferences towards animals. For instance, Kanamori likes things to be really cute and nice, and Kimura loves to have designs that are nice to eat. So there's a lot of drama that comes into play because of their personal design styles and how they feel about the animals. I feel like this anime would be really good for young children. I would say between the ages of like 8 and 12 would be a nice demographic for this anime because it does keep their attention by being kind of funny, but it also educates as well.
Yeah, I like the way they broke up the episode and put lots of facts inside it as well, and lots of reasons, like you said, about Higuchi saying, yo, this can't go because of X, or this can fly because of Y. Also like the whole lightning bolt when God had spoken. I thought that was pretty cool.
Character development. I was hoping to see a little bit more on God because the premise of the show was that God was kind of a hard boss to work for. I didn't see any of that. When they got the messages from God, we didn't hear what the messages were. We only saw whether a design was accepted or rejected with no real feedback coming from God at all. And the briefs that he gave was really quite simple briefs. So I don't know. I felt a disconnect between what I saw in the trailer and what I got in the first episode. However, the rest of the characters do have all of their own distinct personalities, and you can learn about their personalities through their interaction with each other. Although they did throw a lot of names at us, which you guys know by now I hate, but here I feel like it was kind of okay because they concentrated on a couple of the angels and let you get to know them.
Yeah, Ruka, quick question. You were expecting God to give you feedback and let's stop. Oh, okay, well done. They totally nailed the characterization there. I'm just saying.
I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole.
In terms of characterization though, the other angels were pretty sound. Different characters, distinct characters. You could tell that they're all different mindsets, different opinions. And it was just a great watch to see them collaborate with each other and talk and stuff like that. But just like Ruka said, too many names, too many different things. You could have spread this out, but it was all in the first 5 minutes, so it should have been okay, to be fair.
World building. The initial world is just a bare room in heaven. They could have done more. It's kind of basic. However, they did manage to break this up with the window into Earth where they could actually see the animals interacting with each other, which was quite cool. We got a lot of funny elements from just that alone. And then they also gave us a little bit of a breakthrough with the island that they've got, where they can actually create terrains and different types of temperatures and test the animals out as well. I guess it seems so bad because there's the lack of human beings, there's a lack of a lot of things going on, because obviously if they're Heaven's design team, they're really at the beginning of creation, before human beings were around. They did manage to spice up the world a little bit, but I still kind of wish that the boardroom or that little table was a little bit more interesting. I mean, it's heaven. I kind of wanted to see something else going on in heaven. That's just me.
So the Galapagos Islands, all those who've read Darwin's The Origins of Species would know a lot about the Galapagos Islands. Very famous islands, lots of different species there that seem to have evolved and whatnot. And I like the way that the show decided to use the word updates as its version of evolution. It was great. Did they build the world nicely? I mean, like we said before, certain animals couldn't be created because of certain physics restrictions on the way that they were made and the way that they would be interacting. Birds need hollow bones. It was actually really well put together, I think.
Plot execution. Personally, I feel like the plot execution ties in with all the other elements that we've already discussed. All of the elements do work quite well together. It's clearly a well thought out anime. The people behind it obviously wanted to include some kind of education elements, and I feel like they put it together quite well.
This is not your shonen. There is no bad guy at the end of it. There's no like big fight that's about to happen. What it is, it's more like an anthology piece where every episode or every part of the episode is still the same criteria. I need you to create an animal. Here's your brief. Make it happen. Explain it. Is it approved or not? That is the formula. We saw it happen 3 times in the episode. I'm guessing they're going to go for 3 times an episode, and we'll get to know the characters as we go on. But I don't think we're going to get to know a deeper detail of each character. We just know that these are their personality traits. You're not going to get the duality between Sasuke wanting to help and burn the village or something like that in this anime. And I think they executed what they wanted to do quite well.
To the verdict! Creativity, hot or not.
So for me, creativity is a hot. This concept I've not seen before, and using God's design team and God being the client, I think was a really brilliant touch. And again, with the education and everything going through, it gave me a bit of Dr. Stone vibes, but a completely different anime.
I'm also going for a hot on creativity. They've used actual real life facts, mixed it in with an anime, mixed it in with a concept of what heaven might be like, because none of us know. And they've come up with this anime where we're actually getting animals explained to us, which I think, again, is something that kids tend to ask, like, oh, why does this exist? And you're just sitting there like, I don't know, shut up, play with this. Come on, guys, you all have a cousin or a sibling asking those why questions. Well, sit them in front of this. Entertainment.
Does it make me want to see the next episode? Yes. So therefore, it's a hot for me.
I also put a hot for entertainment. I thought that the funny elements that they introduced actually made me laugh a little. Not a belly laugh, but I chuckled. Character development.
It's a not for me for character development. I think I wasn't explained enough of the characters. Yeah, I was given a few personality traits, but I was just given more names than personality traits. Not really who these characters are. And I know it's the first show, so we're expecting it not to be so depth in characters, but one of them, someone could have been giving me an in-depth character.
I was on the fence with this one, but ultimately I have gone for a hot. So I think that although they did throw a lot of names, they did concentrate on a couple of the characters, and I feel like we might see that trend throughout where we're just concentrating on a couple of angels at a time until we get to know them all. At times it was kind of hard to follow who was saying what because I couldn't remember anyone's names. I think they did well with the characterization. I feel like we got to know them. They didn't just do it through what the characters were saying, but they also expressed it through how they were dressed. World building.
So for world building, it's definitely a hot for me. They did a lot of explanation as to why the world works, and it works. So it's a hot for me.
For world building, I actually said not. Because although it was quite good in this episode, I feel like it's going to get played out boring for each episode. I can't see where else they can go from here that's going to keep the excitement up. plot execution.
So for me, it's a knock, and I'll tell you why. This show had so much potential when I saw the trailer, and I had my own ideas as to where it was going to go and how it's going to look and whatnot. And it's not the kind of show I thought it was, and it's not fair to the show that I'm saying that's why it's not good for plot execution. However, the way that they've executed it here, it's not an anime I would watch normally.
I have also gone for a knock, simply because I can't see this formula holding up throughout and keeping my attention. Like I said, I feel like this is probably aimed at quite young children, talking to us about animals that we already know exist, and then telling us why they exist 3 times an episode. I'm gonna lose interest. Once was enough for me. Episode 1, I could stop here. But of course, because we're doing this, I will binge the entire season and let you know what I think. So, Big Boy Sama has gone for 3 out of 5, so he has judged it a hot. And I have also gone for 3 out of 5, and I have judged it a hot as well. So we will see in part 2 whether this verdict holds up.
Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Peace.